Okay, buckle up, everyone. We're taking a massive turn today, uh, diving deep into how a gaming giant is evolving. We're looking at the huge leap from Mario Kart 8, which, wow, has been the standard for over a decade now, to the brand new Mario Kart World.
And leap is definitely the right word. The source material we've been digging into, a really insightful YouTube video, makes it crystal clear that moving to an open world, well, it fundamentally changes everything you expect from competitive kart racing.
Exactly. So our mission with this deep dive is to take the key insights from that source material and sort of unpack them for you. Whether you've logged hundreds of hours in Mario Kart 8 or maybe you're just curious about this next step, we want to highlight the core shifts that really matter.
Yeah, think of this as getting the essential briefing. The open world isn't just pretty scenery. It's genuinely altering the gameplay foundations. The source identifies what they call the 8 biggest differences, and while we won't just rattle them off like a list, we'll guide you through the most impactful changes we saw.
Okay, let's jump right in then. What hits you first? Probably the scale, right? The sheer number of racers.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating here is just the immediate impact on the race itself. Mario Kart 8 had, what, 12 drivers on the track?
Wolf, yeah, standard.
Mario Kart World doubles that.
Hmm.
You're now racing against 24 other karts.
24, double the drivers. That
Yep.
feels like just a totally different level of chaos to navigate. Getting to first place isn't just about being fast anymore. It sounds like it's about surviving a much, much denser pack.
And that density, combined with the open world, it leads straight into another huge structural change they highlighted, the knockout tour. The competition isn't just confined to the laps anymore.
Okay, this sounds like a major departure. So races are broken up by travel segments, between courses.
In the open world,
That's right. You finish one race, and then you physically have to drive to the starting line of the next one on the map.
wow. And here's the kicker, the knockout part adds some serious pressure. If you don't reach that next course fast enough during that travel bit, you're just out, eliminated from the competition.
Whoa, okay. So it adds this whole layer of urgency outside the actual racing laps.
Exactly. It's a challenge that happens entirely outside the traditional format.
Huh. So it's not just about winning the race you're in, but also the journey between them. That really changes the flow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so massive field, the survival structure. What about the tools, the items? The source mentioned big changes there too.
hmm The classics are definitely back. Your red shells, green shells, the infamous blue shell, they're all there. But the source points out some really interesting new items.
Like what?
Well, the coin shell, which some might remember from the arcade Mario Karts, makes a return. It leaves a trail of coins behind you.
Okay, a little economic warfare maybe. But what about, direct defense?
Oh, yeah. You can now literally chuck hammers at opponents.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, but I bet it's effective.
Right. And the ice flower is back. That feels like a blast from the past. Freezes opponents solid.
Yep, that one's back.
Yeah,
I think we last saw that in a main series game quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Definitely changes crowd control.
for sure.
But the source really flags as potentially the most chaotic, maybe the most dangerous Kamek, Bowser's magician.
Kamek. Okay. What kind of mischief is he bringing to the track then?
Get ready for just unpredictability. Summoning Kamek apparently unleashes a whole bunch of spells that cause pure chaos. Like summoning classic Mario enemies right onto the track. Think Goombas or Koopa Troopas suddenly blocking your path.
Okay. Obstacles.
Or, and this sounds wild, transforming all the other drivers into different unlockable characters mid-race.
Wait, transforming everyone else.
Yeah. The source really emphasizes how Kamek is basically designed just to throw everything into complete disarray.
Whoa, that sounds like an absolute game changer if you manage to get it. Okay, so you've got chaotic items, a massive field. How about the less fun part, like crashing, getting
Yeah.
hit? The source mentioned dynamic wipeouts.
Right. So instead of that single kind of predictable spin-out animation,
Yeah.
you always got MK8 when you hit a banana peel or got shell.
Yeah, you knew exactly what was coming.
Right. Rex and World are described as dynamic. The animation, how your cart reacts, it varies a lot more depending on the specific situation, what you hit, how you hit it, that kind of stuff.
Huh. So you can't just mentally brace for the same recovery time. You need to be ready to react and get back up to speed immediately because you won't always know exactly how you're going to bounce or spin. Needs quicker reflexes for recovery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of dynamic things happening that aren't always your fault, the open world environment itself introduces new hazards, specifically dynamic weather.
Weather as a hazard. Like more than just making the track look wet.
Oh, yeah. The source gives a couple of really key examples. Lightning, for instance. It's not just the item that shrinks everyone anymore.
Okay.
It can apparently strike sporadically, just randomly hitting multiple drivers across the track all at once, totally disrupting everyone's flow.
Wow, seriously, you're just driving along and bam, lightning strike hits you and maybe a few others nearby.
Seems like it. And of course, rain is part of it too.
Hmm.
If it starts pouring, the tracks get slicker, obviously. Your handling is affected, so you'll need to lean much more heavily on precise drifting to keep control, especially around turns, and a real layer of environmental challenge.
Okay, so you've got all these dynamic layers, now more opponents, these knockout stages, truly chaotic items, unpredictable wipeouts, and now weather hazards. It sounds like the game is constantly finding ways to throw you off your rhythm, much more than the predictable circuits of the past.
That definitely seems to be a key insight from the source, yeah. The game feels designed to demand constant adaptation from the player. But the open world isn't just about hazards and racing, it's also built for exploration and rewards. We should talk about the free roam mode and the collectibles they mention.
Right, free roam. That's where you can just drive around the big open world map outside of the structured races. And the source mentioned a system of 3 Ps for collectibles.
That's it. First, key hidden panels. These are apparently found on or around the tracks.
After more than
scattered
10
across
years
the
of
open
Mario
map.
Kart 8
Drive
dominating the
over free
market,
roam and
Mario
boom,
Kart
unlock
World is here to
special
shake things up
Stickers
in a
seem to
big
be a
way.
big theme
As the
here.
name
What are
implies,
the other
Mario
themes?
Kart World is
Second
set in an
P,
open
Peach
world,
medallions.
which means there are a
These are
ton of
described as
changes that
floating
Mario
objects
Kart
that
veterans
began
need to be
along
aware
tracks
of.
and dotted
In
throughout
honor
the
of
map.
Mario
The
Kart
source
8 finishing
compared
its
them,
final lap, we've collected
conceptually
the
to
8
things like
biggest
the Dragon
differences
coins
in this
Mario
video.
World, or maybe the Power Stars. They're key items.
A bigger map
okay.
means more
Like major
space on the
collectibles.
track.
Exactly.
Mario
Finding
Kart
them
World
counts
has
towards
24
milestone
drivers in every
and,
race.
yes,
That's
unlocks more
double the
stickers.
dozen that Mario Kart
Panels
8
and
supported,
medallions for stickers.
which means
What's
way
the
more
third?
competition when you're
P-switches.
driving around.
Now,
Obviously,
hidden
the
Vs
goal
doesn't
is
just
still to
release a
come in
bunch of
first
blue
place,
coins like
but
you
you're
will
going to
Mario
have to
5
pass
members.
twice the
but
amount
then-
of drivers
Instead,
to
they
get
trigger
there.
timed
That
driving
head count doesn't
challenges right
always
then
stay
and
so
there.
high, however.
Things like,
Mario Kart
having
World's
to wall
Knockout
ride a
Tour is
specific
designed to
section, or
whittle
maybe
down the
drive down a river
competition
route.
in between
Requires
each
you to use
race.
some pretty
You'll
pro
have to
driving
drive
moves
from course to
before
course
timer
in
runs out.
between the
cool.
races
So they're like little
themselves.
skill
And if you
tests
don't get
embedded
there
right
fast
into the
enough,
world.
you're out.
Precisely.
You'll need to be on
And
your
guess
A
what?
game while
Completing
doing
those
laps
challenges
and
gets you.
speeding to the next site.
Yes.
To help cut down
More
the
stickers.
competition,
The source
Mario
actually
Kart
mentioned
World
there are
also
over
puts a
1,000
ton of new
stickers
items
to
in your
unlock.
hands.
1,000.
Red,
Yeah,
green,
from
and
the
blue
pieces
shells are all
from
back,
challenges, even
but
from
they're
stuff like
joined by the
chasing down
coin
Navi
shell
in
from the
free roam
Mario
environment.
Kart arcade
And
games.
these stickers
That
aren't just
one
for
leaves a
show.
trail of
They're
coins
how
in
you
its wake
customize
as it
your
glides
vehicles,
forward.
and they get
You can also
displayed
chuck
right next to
hammers
your
at your
name on the
opponents
results
or
screen.
freeze them in
Wow,
place
over
with the
1,000
Ice Flower,
stickers.
which was
That's
first
some
introduced
serious
in Mario
personalization
Kart
for your
Tour.
ride.
Perhaps the
And
most
speaking of
dangerous new addition
personalization,
is
the source also
Kamek.
mentioned
If you
another
summon
layer.
Bowser's chief magician,
Character
he'll cause
customization.
chaos
Yes,
with a
exactly.
variety of
Characters
spells.
themselves can
These
now
could
wear
summon
different
classic
costumes.
Mario enemies to block
Costumes.
your
How do you
path,
get
or
those?
even
Not stickers, I
transform
hope.
all
No,
the
those
other
are pretty
drivers
unique,
into
according to the
different
source.
unlockable
You unlock
characters.
them by
You've got to be prepared for
eating
anything
food.
when
Eating
Kamek is in
food.
play.
Seriously.
Now, maybe
Yeah,
you're
you
thinking
find
those
food at
items are
places
no
like
big
Yoshi
deal.
diners
You know
and
what
various
happens
food
when you
trucks
get
scattered
hit in
around the
Mario
map.
Kart.
Grab
But
a
here's
bite,
the thing.
unlock
Wiping
a
out
costume.
in
That's
World
unexpected.
doesn't
What kind of
repeat the
costumes
same
did they
canned
mention?
animation
They give
every time.
examples like
You'll
a
wreck
Mario
differently
biker
depending on the
outfit,
situation.
Luigi's look,
So you need to be
and
prepared to
something
step on the
called an
gas as
all-terrain
soon as you
Donkey
get your
Kong
cart back in the upright
So
position.
yeah,
You might want to
exploring
wear
the
a
world
helmet
and stopping
too.
for a snack can net you a whole new look for your
It's
racing.
not just other drivers
Okay,
who
so
can
bringing it all
jeopardize your
back to the
perfect
core
lap.
driving,
Thanks to the open
controlling
world
your
nature
cart
of the
in this
game,
huge
weather can
dynamic
dynamically
world.
shift and make a
The
huge
mechanics
difference in the
themselves have
race.
evolved
The easiest
beyond
example
Mario
to point
Kart
to
8's
is lightning.
anti-gravity, right?
It's not as targeted or
Yeah, the source
concentrated
highlights
as
the
the
charge
lightning
jump as a
item you can
major
use on
new
your
path.
opponents,
You hold
but
down
it can
both
still
shoulder buttons while
sporadically
you're
strike
driving
everyone
straight,
on the track
then
and mess up
release
their
them to get a
flow.
big
With
vertical
lightning
boost,
comes
like a jump
rain,
straight
and
up.
if it starts
that
pouring
sounds
while you're
incredibly
driving,
useful.
be
I can
prepared
see
for
using
slicker
that for
turns.
clearing obstacles,
Your handling
maybe
will be
bouncing
thrown
off
off
other
a little
carts,
by the liquid on the
finding
ground,
totally new
so make sure
shortcuts or
you're sticking
lines,
with those
time trials.
drifts.
Exactly.
Of
All
course,
that.
there's
They
also
added
lots of
grinding.
good stuff to
Grinding,
find along the
like
tracks.
skateboarding.
Sort
Free
of.
roam
The
mode
source
is
says it
how you'll
functions
freely
similarly to
explore that
anti-gravity
open
in
world,
NBA,
and it's
you know,
full of
getting
stuff
around
to
certain parts of
discover.
tracks
Mario
and
Kart
maintaining
World
speed.
introduces what
They
I
call
like
it
to
a
call the
flashy
3
way
Ps:
to traverse
hidden panels,
specific
peach
sections.
medallions, and
And,
P-switches.
even noted
They're
it
all
might make 20 hot
collectibles
fans
you'll
happy.
want to check
Grinding
off,
rails
but they
in
all
Mario
function
Kart.
differently.
Definitely new.
Hidden panels
there's
are
also
hidden
wall riding.
on and around
You can
every
certain
track,
walls after a
and each
jump
one
and
has a
ride along
beautiful to discover. Driving over them in free roam unlocks special stickers. More on those in a moment. Peach medallions are floating along the tracks and around the map in free roam. Think of these like the large dragon coins from Super Mario World or Power Stars in Mario 64. There are some
Wait,
big
did the
bragging
source
rights
mention
in
one more
finding them
hazard?
all.
Something
They count toward milestone challenges, and they also unlock more of those assorted stickers.
Beyond the 24
Lastly,
racers,
you can
there
find a
are
ton of
apparently
P-switches across the map,
regular,
but they function a
everyday
bit differently
vehicles
from
driving
what
around
Mario
roads
veterans
in
would
the open world
expect.
sections.
Strike them,
just
and blue
cars and
coins
tracks.
won't
Seems so.
necessarily appear.
Bumping into them
Instead, you'll be
predictably
presented
slows you
with a
down.
driving challenge that can test anything from wall riding to river running. Completing the challenge means pulling off some pro driving moves before time runs out, and you'll get yourself another sticker for doing so. As you can probably already tell, there are a ton of stickers
So
to
even the
unlock in this
traffic
game.
becomes part of the
More
gameplay.
than 1,000 in
It adds
fact.
another dynamic
P-switches,
environmental
peach
element to
medallions, and
navigation.
hidden panels
It's
can all
completely
help you
outside
earn them.
the
Plus, there
usual
are
race
special
objects
challenges like chasing
item
down
boxes.
Nabbit that will also reward you with
Man.
more.
Okay,
Stickers
so
can
when
be
you
used
pull
to
out the
customize
sticker,
your
I mean,
vehicles
the
and
jump to
are
24
displayed next to your
drivers,
name
the
on the
full
results
knockout
screen,
tour structure
adding some
forcing
personal
you to
flair
drive
to
between
each race.
races,
You
the
can
wild
customize
new
your
items like
characters
Kamek,
too, thanks to a
the
variety of
environmental
cool
hazards
costumes
like
that
dynamic
Mario
weather,
Kart
and
World
now
adds
actual
to the
traffic.
mix.
Plus
These
all
are
the
unlocked by
open-world
eating
exploration,
food,
the
which can be
collectibles,
picked up at
customization,
Yoshi
and brand new
diners
ways
and
to
food
move,
trucks
charge
all around the
jumps,
map,
grinding.
in and out of races.
Crystal clear,
Touring
based on what
Mario,
the source
Biker
laid out,
Waluigi,
that
and
Mario Kart
all-terrain
World
Donkey
feels
Kong are
fundamentally
just a
bigger,
few of the
faster,
looks you can
and
add to your character
way more
select screen,
unpredictable
so
than
be on the
Mario Kart
lookout for
8
those
ever
tasty
was.
opportunities
Even
while
hardcore
driving
veterans are
around.
having to speed up.
It really sounds like a complete paradigm shift.
Let's get back to good old-fashioned driving. Mario Kart 8 added anti-gravity to the mix. In World is switching things up again by letting drivers do a charge jump. Think of drifting around corners to gain a boost, but in this case, you'll hold down both shoulder buttons while driving in a straight line, then release to get some air. You can use this to clear obstacles, bounce off of other vehicles, and find totally new ways to tear through the game's time trials. On top of that, Tony Hawk fans will be happy to know that karts can now grind in Mario Kart World. If you like the aforementioned anti-gravity in Mario Kart 8, then this is another flashy way to get around the track and build extra speed along the way. You can also ride along certain walls if you catch them after a jump. In general, Mario Kart World's tracks have a few different options for getting around. While you're doing that, be on the lookout for one more hazard. There are a lot more cars on the road this time. Beyond the 24 racers competing with each other, there is legit traffic from everyday vehicles you'll need to dodge. Bumping them slows you down, of course, but you can also ramp off of the bigger trucks or use the aforementioned charge jump to bounce off of smaller cars. And those are the 8 biggest changes from Mario Kart 8 to Mario